America that is not found anywhere else? USA Travel Dean, America's dangerous rules. A volcano is still sleeping deep beneath the ground of one country. If it ever wakes up, it could change weather patterns across the world. In that same country, there is a city that never truly sleeps. There is a valley that looks like the earth split open. And there is a place whose own government refused to officially admit it existed for 60 years. So how can one country hold all of this? In this video, you'll see why America is called the land of dreams, which places are the most beautiful to visit, and which laws can ruin your trip with one small mistake. So let's start with the place that leaves even the strongest people speechless. Grand Canyon in Arizona. There is a canyon so huge it almost feels unreal. The Grand Canyon stretches about 277 miles long, up to 18 miles wide, and around 1.2 miles deep. That means even if you stacked the tallest buildings in the world one on top of another, you still wouldn't reach the bottom. And here's the crazy part. This giant canyon was not made by an earthquake. It was carved over millions of years by the Colorado River, slowly cutting through rock in one place, again and again. Some of the rocks at the bottom are nearly 2 billion years old. The real magic happens at sunrise and sunset. The canyon changes color again and again, from pink to gold to deep orange, almost like the whole place is breathing. If you're brave enough, there's also the skywalk, a glass bridge sticking out over the edge. You stand on glass with thousands of feet of empty space below you. You can also ride helicopters, go down mule trails, or do rafting on the Colorado River. But the warning here is simple. In summer, temperatures inside the canyon can rise above 104 F. And every year people need rescue because they go down too far and forget they still have to climb back up. So carry water and never go down without a plan. And after all that, Arizona also has food worth trying. Start with a Navajo taco, fried bread topped with beans, cheese, tomatoes, and salad. It's simple, filling, and unforgettable. You can also try the Sonoran hot dog, or a cold prickly pear drink in the heat. Antelope Canyon a few hours away is a place that looks almost unreal. Antelope Canyon. From outside, it looks like a narrow crack in the desert. But once you step inside, the walls turn into smooth orange and pink waves, as if someone shaped stone like soft fabric. Around midday, sunlight drops through the opening above like a beam from heaven. That's the famous image people know from photos. But the same force that made this place beautiful also makes it dangerous. Antelope Canyon was carved by flash floods. Rain can fall many miles away, then rush through the narrow canyon in seconds. In 1997, a flash flood killed 11 people here. That's why today, you can't enter alone. You need a Navajo guide, and the canyon closes when the weather turns bad. Horseshoe Bend nearby is another unforgettable view. Horseshoe Bend. Here, the Colorado River makes a perfect U-turn around a massive curve in the rock. You stand on the edge of a cliff nearly 1,000 feet high and look straight down. Most of the area has no railing, just open air and drop. People come early just for sunset, because the light makes the river and canyon glow in dramatic colors. Yosemite. Now, we move to California, where America changes completely. Green mountains, giant trees, icy water, and cliffs so large people look tiny beside them. This is Yosemite National Park. One of the most famous views here is Tunnel View. You drive through a dark tunnel, and then suddenly the entire valley opens up in front of you. On one side is El Capitan, a giant vertical granite wall about 3,000 feet high. It looks like the mountain was cut with a blade. Across from it is Half Dome, and in the valley you'll find Yosemite Falls, one of the tallest waterfalls in North America. But the story that made El Capitan world famous happened in 2017 when Alex Honnold climbed it without ropes, without safety gear, and without a single margin for error. just shoes, chalk, and unbelievable focus. He finished in 3 hours and 56 minutes. Was that courage, or was it madness? I'll let you decide. Inside the park, you'll also find giant sequoias in Mariposa Grove. One of them is believed to be around 2,000 years old. And for just a few days in late February, Horsetail Fall turns orange in the sunset and looks like fire falling down the cliff. People call it the Firefall. Just remember, this park is also home to black bears. They usually come looking for food, not people, but the rules are strict. You cannot leave food, snacks, or scented items in your car. Niagara Falls and New York City. Now let's move to one of the most powerful natural wonders in North America, Niagara Falls. It sits on the border of New York and Canada. It may not be the tallest waterfall, but in force, it is one of the strongest. Thousands of tons of water crash down every second, and the roar can be heard from far away. The best way to experience it is on the Maid of the Mist boat ride, where you wear a raincoat and go right into the spray. Another famous spot is Cave of the Winds, where wooden walkways bring you so close that water hits you directly. The most unbelievable story? In 1901, Annie Edson Taylor, a schoolteacher, went over the falls inside a wooden barrel on her 63rd birthday and survived. New York State also gave the world buffalo wings, spicy chicken wings covered in hot sauce. Then there's New York City, the place that truly never sleeps. Times Square is a wall of light, screens, and motion. Even at 2:00 a.m., it can feel brighter than noon in some cities. On New Year's Eve, millions gather to watch the famous ball drop. Then there's the Statue of Liberty, a gift from France in 1886. It was not always green. It started as shiny copper, and over time the metal changed color naturally. The crown has 7 spikes. The tablet shows July 4th, 1776. And at her feet are broken chains, symbolizing freedom. Brooklyn Bridge is another legend. It was completed in 1883, but the project came at a tragic cost. Its original engineer died. His son got sick during construction, and then Emily Roebling stepped in and helped finish the bridge. To prove it was safe, P.T. Barnum marched 21 elephants across it. And right in the middle of the city is Central Park, a huge green space that looks natural but was actually carefully designed by humans. San Francisco, Vegas, and Yellowstone on the West Coast, San Francisco is wrapped in fog. The Golden Gate Bridge, finished in 1937, was painted orange so ships could see it clearly through the mist. The city also has cable cars, which have been running since 1873, and Alcatraz, the prison from which 3 inmates escaped in 1962 and were never found. In the desert, Las Vegas stands like a city built on ambition. The Bellagio fountains rise into the air with music, and crowds gather every night to watch for free. Not far from there is Area 51, a secret military site the U.S. government denied for decades before officially acknowledging it in 2013. And finally, Yellowstone. Beneath it lies a giant magma chamber. It was the world's first national park, created in 1872, and it contains more than half of the world's geysers. Old Faithful erupts every few hours, and Grand Prismatic Spring glows in brilliant blue, green, and orange because of heat-loving bacteria in the water. The last major eruption happened about 600,000 years ago. Scientists monitor it closely, but there's no sign of an eruption anytime soon. Closing America is not just one country. It feels like many worlds stitched together. One day you can stand in front of 2-billion-year-old rock. The next, you can walk through a glowing city at midnight. One side has snowy mountains, the other has palm trees and beaches. That is why people call it the land of dreams. So tell me, which country should I do next? Write the name in the comments, and I'll make the next story about the most requested one.